This is a presentation that Maths gave to grade 10 students 1 week ago. We're running it again now so students can dip back in and replay, pause on some of the slides, read a bit deeper, and also can share with parents. We set the new Maths IBDP course in the context of the wider curriculum reviews. So the IB has a process in place where they review every course for every subject. Every 7 years this happens, and if they think that they should change or modify the courses, then they do just that. And this particular year, mathematics decided that they would change the courses. And they have changed in structure. There's a lot of similar content from the previous courses, but it has changed. And there are some of the reasons why the changes have been made. And it's all sensible in terms of reasoning for why the changes have been made. Some things that haven't changed with the new courses are really the skills that mathematics will focus on. And these are skills that we've been teaching for the last 6-7 years here at East Campus, not just at the IB level in grade 11 and 12, but also in grade 9 and 10. So students are really well prepared for entering the IB in grade 11 through their work with us in grade 9 and 10. Here are the titles of the new courses. And if you're a parent that has children have already gone through the IB diploma, then it will take some getting used to for the new names. Students in grade 8, 9 and 10 who have just never experienced the old courses, then this won't be so much of a problem for them. So we have two particular types of mathematics. It's analysis and approaches or applications interpretation, and students choose one or the other type of mathematics to pursue. They're both offered at higher level and standard level. Just a brief distinction summary between the two particular courses. And two of the courses are very similar to what we already have at present, and two of the courses are very, very new. They offer a lot of different content to what we teach presently. Something that we all are quite excited about is there's been space created on the courses, actual content taken out of all 4 courses, just so we can create extra space and time for the important skills and strategies of investigation, problem solving and modelling. And again, something that we do focus on in grade 9 and 10 and 11 and 12, but now we're given more time in grade 11 and 12 to pursue these areas. My colleagues from Dover put this slide together, and I think it's quite a nice effective summary about maybe the types of maths that you would most be involved with if you pursue one type of course or the other. So prove it or use it is kind of a catchy phrase. But under analysis and approaches, of course, you would prove and use, and under application interpretation, you'd use and prove. So they're not exclusive to one course or the other, but maybe the mix of prove and use changes according to which particular course you would choose. In the student presentation, groups of 4 students got together and they had a sorting activity, and this was strips of card cut up. They had to arrange it, how to best to describe the 2 particular courses. It was a pretty successful activity. They had 5 minutes to organise their thoughts and put the pieces together, and then they were given a little bit more information, and this is taken directly from the IB. So the analysis and approaches, when you read that, you just pull out in red all the key wording: analytic methods, mathematical arguments, real and abstract, generalization. Again, that's a description direct from the IB. A little bit more clarification. So the analysis and approaches is probably more appropriate for students who are literally going to take substantial maths content in a degree course further on the school in 3 or 4 years' time. Application interpretations, as you might imagine already from the previous descriptions, describing our world, modelling, problem solving, technology, practical context. And application interpretation fits really well with these types of subjects, maybe when students are aiming for university. So when we revealed the answers to the students based on all of those, they did a pretty good job. You can obviously pause this slide in the next few and read the descriptions at your leisure. And for sure, within both courses, there are some statements which are identical, some statements which are different. So this leads us to this important question. In maybe a month's time, students have to choose which particular maths course, which level and which type of maths they would like to pursue at the IB diploma level. And this particular slide hasn't changed over the last 7 years that I've been presenting to grade 10 students. The rest of the slides have changed, but not this one. And it really is choose the maths course that fits nicely with the other IB subjects. You could clearly see that the applications course fits nicely with subjects such as psychology, biology, geography, ESS. It's quite a strong statistical side to that particular course, the applied course. Maybe some of the earth sciences, medicine. Obviously, it makes sense that you want to enjoy the particular maths course you pick, just as you want to enjoy the rest of your IB subjects. So choose something you're going to be able to enjoy. Obviously, you need to work hard at all your subjects to enjoy success, but obviously choose higher level subjects across all the IB that you know you'll be able to access and be successful on. Once you've got those 2 points in place, then university pathways open up for you. So if we drill into that first point, which of these 2 particular mathematics might we choose? Well, we're just trying to map out what analysis and approaches might best complement. And given the descriptions from the IB and their advice, then possibly those 3 subjects might be a nice fit for analysis and approaches. Of course, even if you choose other subjects for your IB, you can still take analysis and approaches. Application interpretation, certainly a broader fit with many other subjects. But again, they're not exclusively, application interpretation doesn't exclusively go to those subjects. Analysis and approaches isn't exclusively set to physics, comp sci and economics. Just a note about the assessment structure. I know students are keen for this. As you look at this, both SL courses are identical in terms of exam structure, but the analysis and approaches has 1 paper without a calculator. The application interpretation, both papers are with a calculator. It doesn't mean to say that it's going to be easier. Typically, when you have a calculator to be able to help you answer questions, the calculator is just a tool for processing the final bit of information. All the hard work and thinking has been done to unpack the question in the first place. When you look at the higher level, it's a similar structure again on both halves of the course, analysis approaches, application interpretation. But again, there is 1 paper without a calculator for the HL analysis. All papers have calculator for the applications. Something that's common across all 4 courses is the exploration. Now, over the last 7 years, we have been pursuing the exploration as a school very successfully, and it's just a piece of mathematical writing that students engage with. Students are well prepared for the exploration in grade 11 because in grade 9 and 10 they've already been doing mini explorations. One of the first things students do in grade 9 is to investigate and model when 9 seconds might be broken for the 100 meters world record. They do multiple other investigations and modelling activities throughout 9 and 10. Students joining us fresh in grade 11 also have opportunity to do mini explorations early in the year before they do their final piece of coursework. Something that's brand new to the HL only, and this is common across both applications and analysis, is paper 3. And although we haven't actually seen the exam papers yet, they're going to be released shortly, the end of Feb, beginning of March. We're quite excited by the paper. It seems to build upon the papers that our students are already doing grade 9 and 10. So when we follow a particular exam syllabus, the Cambridge exam syllabus in grade 9 and 10, part of the assessment procedure is a paper 6, which involves a 1.5 hour paper, 1 question on modelling and 1 question on investigation. So it feels as if the IB high-level paper 3 may kind of reflect the maths we're already doing in grade 9 and 10. A lot of questions regarding universities, and with the implementation of brand new courses, of course universities need to know, well, how do these new courses compare to the old courses? And this is what the universities currently are interpreting that. They are saying pretty much that both HL courses can relate to the old HL maths course. The old standard level maps to the SL analysis course, the old math studies standard level maps to the SL applications and interpretations. I suppose in this regard then we're pretty clear on what the university requirements are for certain types of courses around the world, because there's not a lot of change from the old courses in universities' minds. But one thing that you might want to ask the question about is which particular HL Maths course to take, because now 2 HL Maths courses replace the one old course. And guidance is already in place for universities, and if you have a specific university in mind, then you can click on their website and just have a little look at the entrance requirements for IB Diploma. Over the course of the next few weeks, the UAC will be having individual interviews with all students in grade 10, and you'll be able to unpack your university requirements a little bit more with them. We already have a document with examples of which universities for which courses might require which HL Maths course. Just a little example, I mean, this is current thinking from the UK. So Imperial College is one of the top universities for engineering, and for electrical and electronic engineering, it says either maths would be preferred. Of course, if it was mechanical engineering, then that would be a case of HL analysis would be preferred. So it is quite specialist, if you know the college or university and the course you want to go on. Certainly in the UK, it's best to just drill into their website. Across in Canada, engineering just not quite being clarified yet. There's a strong feeling that both HL courses would be accepted, but we are still waiting to see about that. Any course at Toronto that requires calculus, then three out of the 4 courses would be acceptable. And any course that doesn't require calculus, so a lot of the humanities courses, would be any course would be acceptable for those. The US have always had a holistic entrance application procedure. Of course, if you wanted to focus on engineering in the US, then one of the HL Maths courses would be recommended, and the US just want to know that you've actually taken the most rigorous program available to you at your school. Okay, so focusing on point 2 about which IB course should I take, and this is number 2, the one you'll be able to access, work hard at, enjoy and be successful on. So success really does come from having strong approaches to learning, and if you've been a student through 9 and 10 who hasn't really made much of an effort with your academic subjects, then that's not going to be a great start to IB. But if you, with focus and determination, strong approaches to learning, then you will certainly be able to enjoy success. The diagnostic test students sat in class a short while ago gave some indication about which particular areas of maths they might have to work at if they wanted to start maybe HL Maths and start it successfully. We gave students that feedback a short while ago. So finally, the message is the same. We have plenty of information from maths teachers, from the UAC advisors, from heads of grade, good conversations with parents, teachers and students, and we'll get the right course that will guide you towards whatever your future career aspirations might be. At this point, I asked questions from the students, and there was plenty of good questions. So we'll just go through 1 or 2 of them here. And then if you have any more after watching this video, please don't hesitate to email. That will be through to our admin assistant, Vince, and he'll compile all the questions that you might have, and we'll produce and update the FAQ document for this. So for those of you who are familiar with the old Maths IB courses, this is a summary of the main changes. There's no Maths Studies standard level, there is no further mathematics, and there's no high level options. Current thinking UK universities, we've kind of already covered that. Again, for more information, just drill into the individual websites. More and more universities across the world are updating their websites with specific requirements for the new IB courses. Very, very small number of students worldwide were able to do further mathematics. Only about 200 students worldwide did further mathematics in the past few years. On both campuses at UWCSEA, we had about 15 students, so we were quite well placed. Unfortunately, this has been taken away. I think probably just not economical to run one course for 200 students worldwide. when the HL course has 7,000 or 8,000 students. So some students wondered if they could actually do further study in mathematics. Some questions were asked about, could I take both HL maths courses? This isn't possible due to timetabling restrictions, but the IB actually say you can't do it because there's a common core of material across both high-level subjects. So in fact, you wouldn't get the requisite number of hours to count for two higher levels. Other students asked the question, if there are some parts of one course that I'd like to study, am I able to? And the answer is always yes, of course. You know, strong, independent mathematics learners can always take on extra learning in mathematics. There are so many online courses which are appropriate for this. We also have resources here in the maths department, and a student just needs to approach their teacher and we'll help and guide them onto fruitful areas of study. There's quite a few good blog posts out there, and the IBO website actually has lots of extra information as well about this. As mentioned before, we've got a list of FAQs here. We addressed some in the presentation. We'll go through a few here. If after watching the video and looking at these FAQs, you feel your question hasn't been answered, then please go ahead and email in at VinceUWC at the usual GAPS address there. So will we have access to past papers for the new courses? And it's quite simple. Yes is the answer. My colleague is also, feeding in on these particular questions. The whole maths department is feeding in on these questions, so we've got a lot of minds working on it. And yeah, the actual official practice papers are published sometime in March, end of February, beginning of March. But we also have, hundreds and hundreds of past papers for the last 7, 8, 10, 12 years, and we can always adapt these particular papers to meet the needs of the new courses. So we can create our own papers quite easily. So there's not going to be a worry there. When we have access to the syllabus guide, actually they're already available. You can actually get them from the IB website. We'll also make them available on the student OLP. We also have specially commissioned mind maps from the IB. One of our colleagues, Andrew Mollett, actually has hand-drawn some mind maps for all 4 courses, and we are going to put them on display in the maths corridors so students can really engage with what type of maths are on the courses. So that's a fantastic thing for us to have. Is there any further maths? As mentioned before, no, it's taken off the IBDP. But some of the content is still here, and it's just been switched around a bit. It's been included in both the HL courses. If a student takes SL analysis, can she still apply for psychology subjects? I mean, as you saw in the presentation, SL analysis would be a really good fit for psychology. There's a lot of great statistical analysis and statistical tests in there which would really suit psychology students. And really, they're not going to be disadvantaged students who take this subject. SL analysis will be readily accepted throughout the world for psychology courses. Again, if you know exactly where you want to go, you could drill into that particular university and pay specific attention to the courses. Can we see the practice paper before we make our final choice? Honestly, I don't think you really need to. I mean, they'll always be available to you, but make your choice based on all the information you currently have. Start the course. We're always flexible with students who think they may have chosen the wrong course in the first 4 to 6 weeks, and we have that flexibility as a school that we can actually make changes if they need to be made. Would we mistake both HL or both SL? I think I answered that in one of the previous slides when I was talking through the presentation, that it's not allowed, no. You can't take both HL or both SL, just can't do it. And this one, what if there are subjects we'd like to pursue in both columns? Well, just come and talk to us. Is there a particular type of maths that you're not studying that you'd love to know a little bit more about? Talk to your maths teacher. We'll be happy to discuss it with you. We have lunchtime maths help sessions every day of the week. Pop into one of the lunchtime sessions, chat to a maths teacher about it. We can guide you into the right area of research. We could provide resources, but also, we can research some of those online courses that are freely available. And if studies is like the new SL Applied, does that mean it's going to be allowed at more unis, or will it be restricting? And the old maths studies course, maybe 8-10 years ago, there was a problem with worldwide acceptance of the old maths studies course, but that changed quite drastically in the last 4 or 5 years, and the old maths studies course was pretty much widely recognised throughout the world. The only restrictions were just a few places in the world that specifically wanted certain types of mathematics. And so Canada, and certainly for science-based courses, they demanded vectors and calculus, and certain European countries as well. And the old math studies didn't have that depth of vectors and calculus, and the new SL Applied doesn't have that depth of vectors and calculus. So they're going to be treated pretty much the same in terms of those particular countries. So there'll be no major disadvantage of taking the SL Applied at all.